So we have two new female characters introduced in this episode. I still hold my complaint from last review. I still do, because they're adding way too many characters into this already crowded cast of characters in this anime series. I know this is supposed to be a harem. I know this is supposed to be a rom-com. But if you're going to add more characters into this crowded cast, develop the characters. Please, just develop the characters. This is one of the only things that's really bugging me about this series. It really is. I know this series has some form of good comedy. It's not the best comedy, it's average comedy. But they're really dumbing this series down and really dragging down the value, in my opinion, because of the way they're forcing these characters on top of us that I really do not care about. Yes, I did enjoy Rin. I liked her backstory this episode. And I did like the robot girl where her head fell off. Oh my god, that's fucking creepy and awesome. I like her character introduction. But it wasn't enough to make me say that I want to see more of these characters. It wasn't enough for me to say that I feel like these characters are the best of this season. There's nothing so far from any of these characters that really drag me in and want me to continue watching more of this series. Our main male character, he seems very plain, generic, and doesn't seem to have anything interesting about him, okay? Yes, he could see flags on top of girls' heads, but he has nothing that really makes him stand out among male cast characters in any anime or even rom-com harems. So far for right now, this seems to be a very generic rom-com harem, in my opinion. It could evolve into something better, but this is just from my assumptions after watching a couple episodes. In my opinion, this is what I have assumed. Now, I love the animation. The animation of this series is fucking amazing. It really is. It's fluid, crisp. It's definitely one of the best animation qualities of this anime season. I cannot down the series for that. I love the music. I love the music, and I love the voice actors. The voice actors are good also. Just, like I said, my only problem with this series is the way they're forcing the characters on top of us with this pacing that just seems to want to pump out these characters. I know all these female characters that are being introduced and one trap male character is supposed to serve vital importance later on, probably to the story or plot, since we saw a little bit of a hint about chess pieces last episode, but it's not enough to say that that is acceptable to just sling characters on top of us, because this is never good in any series, because you need to take the time to develop characters. Because let me explain my certain viewpoints on a rom-com harem. Rom-com harems are thriving off of characters. That's what makes this series so good. Because, think about this, rom-com harems really don't have a very interesting story. Not the best story you've ever heard. They usually focus around some form of love interest or something. But rom-com harems have a very weak story most of the time. Not all the time, but most of the time. So they really need good characters that drag you in and keep making you want to see their comedy value and see the way they interact with each other. And so, I feel like this is what this series is lacking. It's lacking in the character department along with the story. The story seems a little bit interesting, I'm not gonna lie there, but they're really just completely avoiding developing the story at all. I mean, once again, there was no actual mentioning of the death flag, not major actual development whatsoever in this episode. So right now, I'm kind of disappointed with this series. I'm not saying this series is trash, I'm not saying it's bad, I'm not saying it's shit, I'm not. But I feel like this series can be a lot better if it would actually just slow down. I know this is supposed to be 12 to 13 episode anime series. I know productions and studios have to force it out to get to a certain threshold in plot. I understand this. That is kind of not their fault. But, I mean, I'd rather have quality over quantity. I'd rather actually have a very slow-paced story that takes the time to develop characters instead of forcing characters on top of us that we don't care about later on if something bad happens to them. So, that is one thing I feel like this series is lacking, but it can be better. I'm going to continue watching this. Hopefully, it might turn itself around and get a lot better. I'll have to see and wait. Now, am I looking at the series wrongly? Am I not seeing something in this series? Am I missing some vital importance out of this anime that, I mean, a lot of you are enjoying? Because a lot of people from the last review said that this was a very good series in a lot of people's eyes. A lot of people said this was enjoyable, it got a lot of laughs, you liked the characters, and it's just some of you said that the pacing wasn't that bad. Am I missing something? Am I missing something in this series? If I am, correct me. Correct me. Please, correct me. If I am missing something, if I am making a mistake, and if I am not seeing certain developments with these characters, let me know. Please. That is the main thing why I love our community, because I love you all being honest and downright discussing different theories, plots, and stuff like that in our community. So everybody, please let me know in the comments below. Everybody, I love you so much. Please be safe. Chibi out.